Hi there. My name is John Stevens. I'm pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we are part of the ELCA. And welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where I take a look at the lectionary text and I tie him to an item from the Dollar Tree or the junk drawer or the kids' room or the garage. That's how I've been doing it. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your week with me in this way. Thank you for your partnership in this ministry, but most importantly, thank you for the love that you're sharing with your kids and your congregation and your families. You, my friend, are rocking it. And speaking of rocking it, I'm rocking a cold this morning. I came down with this last night. Yes. Anyway, so we're just going to press on. This is for the narrative lectionary. We're looking at the call of Samuel out of 1 Samuel. And this is so a couple of springboards on this, a couple ideas. And I've used some of these before, but I love them and they're great. We get this text every 4 years in the narrative lectionary. So it's a great time to lean into it, even if you've used it. The first one is using 2 paper cups and some barbecue twine, which you can pick up in Kroger's or Safeway or any of those places in the food aisle, because this is used for, I got this from the Dollar Tree, but I've not found that it hit or miss if the Dollar Tree is going to have the twine. But this is barbecue twine where they wrap, if you're going to, like, I don't know, do a stuffed chicken or something like that. You can use this to wrap it. But this is a great string for this. So you need that, and you need your 2 cups, and you're going to make the tin cups or paper cups and string to where you've got here, and then someone's going to speak into it, and vice versa. And it's amazing because it works when you have that taunt. What I do end up doing is I poke a small little hole in here, feed this through the hole, tie a knot, and then I tape it down. And I tape it down on here, and then the same way on this side. And you want it, I tape it down. Now you want it taped down because this little part here is going to act as the speaker. That as you talk here, it vibrates here, and the vibration goes down the string and gets onto this side, and it works. And it works not just because the person's only about 10 feet away. It's great. And I love the idea because it's neat, it's science, and it's amazing. And so it's like, if we can hear, you can hear like through, that's not the way you want to talk on it. This is the way you want to talk. But in that, and talking about how the amazing aspect of this, that you can hear the voice there. And then think if you're Samuel, and then you're in the other room, and you don't have this, and you hear God, and you go through. So that's one springboard. And along with that, we can talk about what are some of the ways that we might hear God. And sometimes we hear, like Samuel, hear it like vocally out loud. Sometimes we hear God in our hearts. Sometimes I hear God in my mind, where it might not be the voice of God, but call it your conscience, call it the Spirit leading us. There's a sense where inside I go, is God calling me? And it could be that something, a gift that you're good at, and that you feel like you want to teach someone that. How are the ways that God is calling you? And then sometimes we hear God's call through the urging and through our neighbors, through the urging of our neighbors. I'm trying to think of a different word for urging, but still, when someone says, you know what, maybe you should think about that. The reason I'm a pastor is that in 9th grade, my pastor said, middle children make good pastors. He does not remember telling me that, but it was a confirmation interview, and I truly believe that in that God was speaking, and God was using Pastor Paul Hansen in Idaho Falls, Idaho, and when I was in 9th grade, and yeah, it's pretty amazing. So we've got that going on, listening to God. Let's see. Another one that I like is using on the phone. You can get a fake call app where it pretends to give you a call, and you can call. You pick up the phone, and you're like, oh, and it's God's calling. The one I used to use is no longer available, which is annoying because it was really great. It had a background noise and all that. But they do have fake call apps, and you just have to kind of try one out to see if you like it. But you can also have a stooge, have someone in the congregation that is going to call you, a setup where they call you and you're like, oh, look, it's God calling. And you can change their contact information in your phone to read God and say, oh, it's God calling. Oh, God, I'm so glad you called. You sound a lot like Martha. You sound a lot like Susan. You sound a lot like whoever is calling. And you could have them, when you say, you sound a lot like Susan, and you could have Susan stand up in the back of the congregation and go, well, that's funny. Funny you should say that. And but about being called, and that you could also have someone standing in the sacristy or standing in a room out just outside the front door, just outside the sanctuary doors, and they call you, um, Pastor John. And again, looking at the ways that we are called and how do we respond to that call. All right, lots of springboards in here. Hoping one of those can be useful for your own children's sermon. But thank you so much for spending a little bit of your week with me in this way. Thank you for the love that you're sharing with your kids and your congregations. And thank you so much for your partnership in this ministry. It means the world to me. And we'll see you next week. All right, peace.